welcome to the EVerest Technical Steering Committee from October 2025. We have again a quite packed plan with a couple of highlights. So there's still this big code merging going on. And then we also have a couple of new initiatives we want to present to you. If you're watching the recording, you can just jump right forward to that. But for everyone here in the room, please behave. This is a public forum with a Linux Foundation. We have some rules. There might be competition here in the room. And don't do something against antitrust policies. So on what's new, basically no big change. We added Kathrein and Kostal. Oh, no, Costa, it has to be Compleo or Costa with K. Costa Compleo here to the list. Have to fix the typo afterwards because they're also publicly known. And if there's any other charger vendor who want to be on this list, please reach out. We also show a reason for you why to do that later in the presentation. Also on this slide, on the development kit vendors, there's no big change. Let's start with also a quick event recap. Pete, you want to talk over this or should I?
I wasn't participating. Maybe Kai can give a quick update because he was actually testing.
Oh, yeah, sure. Great. So this time we have only participated in the OCPP Plugfest virtually, but we registered as a 2.1 software to test against CSMSs. We had some testing sessions, but on at least the CSMS side, things are also still very early days, so it doesn't really matter that our 2.1 implementation is also not not so far advanced as we would probably like. We could test quite a lot of things with 2.0.1 though, so this was still valuable, and we found a couple minor bugs that we could fix in the meantime already as well.
Thanks a lot. So let's go to the EV Charging SIG. I think Robert is not here.
Yes.
You want to say something?
Yes. Hey, why is my camera not on? Let's do that. So we had a good SIG call yesterday. We are extending the SIG. So next to the normal projects update from StreamOS and EVerest, we had an introduction of Flex Measures, which is more a cloud EMS, which can also have a local agent running to do energy management. Super interesting project also for EVerest, for us, because these guys already have implemented S2, which we have on our roadmap as well. So synergy there. We had hoped to get an introduction into OpenLeader and HiFi, but Ariel, who's leading both projects, had a conflict of meetings, so wasn't able to join. So she will present that in the next SIG call. With the extension of the SIG, it will also be renamed. It will no longer be the EV Charging SIG. The current proposal is to call it Edge Flexibility and Interoperability, because we're both looking at typically all the flexible things on the edge of the grid, but also trying to get interoperability between the different projects, between different systems. So we really wanted to add the interoperability part there as well. That proposal is now to the LF Energy Board. We expect them to approve, but it's an official step that needs to be taken. And I think next SIG call will be interesting because we have the second review of CitroenOS. The month after that, December, is our turn again. So then EVerest. No, we are on January. Top of my head, we are in January.
Correct.
So we need to start preparing for that around Christmas.
Thanks a lot. So BaseCamp migration. How are things going here?
Yes, we had this slide already last month, but we could add the integration of the external APIs to the list of completed things. We are still working on the migration of the documentation. On the right side, you can see a teaser of what's coming. So we're still busy with that, but all in all, I think we are on track with this large contribution.
Thanks a lot. And on the framework side?
Not much going on there. A couple of things added regarding to error types and error handling in Rust that have been added by Quello, and still worth mentioning the 2 PRs that are still work in progress and a little bit on hold, with quite interesting changes upcoming for the framework. But we're looking for some time to finish these off, and especially for some room to test.
Thanks a lot. So let's continue with cloud communication, aka OCPP.
Yes, as you can see on this list, mostly fixes, probably a couple of them because of some findings at the Plugfest, but as you can see, that list is not too long. Yeah, and one feature at the top to add raw message logging to, I think, also be able to display malformed messages from the CSMS that cannot be passed, but we still log them. Yeah, and a rather big pull request that's still work in progress with some Clang tidy fixes applied that needs a review. Other than that, I think that's it for OCPP.
Thanks a lot. By the way, Amir, now everyone is on mute. There was someone not on mute. There's another change which might be relevant, or let's say suggestion. We teased it last time a bit, but now there had been progress made. The Open Charge Alliance started a new program called Golden System Under Test, SET. And the idea from the system under test is, and they're doing this now for like, I don't know, 2 years or so, with their OCTT, Open Charge Test Tool, that they're developing this test tool. It's an official tool used by TÜV and DEKRA and all this testing organization to certify your compliance. But also this tool itself has to be tested. So they have a set of charging stations, a set of backend systems where they're testing new releases of this tool against. The list was quite large historically. They want to make it more concise. And then on the other hand, working way closer with those system under tests in order to really, really sign off any new release of this OCTT. And this more closely working with people, that is called Golden System Under Test. We and many others got asked to apply. We did that 2 or 3 weeks ago. As far as I know, I think there will be the next days a voting over every Open Charge Alliance member, which of the applicants for this Golden System Under Test will be officially taken into that program. I think it's a handful-ish per OCTT protocol version, so a handful for 1.6, a handful for 2.01, a handful for 2.1, maybe even more for 2.1. And since there's some benefits associated with this, I think the company who handing that in gets a few €1,000 in membership discounts a year. It's not much. We as Pionix would applied for this, but on the other hand, would also host the virtual EVerest instances, would be contact person, also signing off for, let's say, a certain response time in regard with the OCA. So I don't think we will make money with that few discounts there, but we're happy to donate this support towards the community. But still looking on all your help on getting 2.1 implemented. So Costa Compleo is on it, we are on it. And I also know others working already towards this. We need your help on any bug finding and just making OCP with an EVerest really, really good. And in return, EVerest will be, let's say, probably, if everything goes by plan, always as good as the official certification tool, which I think is also quite a value in return for, let's say, the value position of EVerest. Yeah, as I said, we will text around soon when we know the voting is open, and it would be great if you can make a vote in favor of EVerest Pionix for the Golden System Under Test. So next, car communication working group. Who can cover that?
Yeah, Sebastian is not here, but I can take it. There have been a couple of minor changes added to EVSE V2G module. And I think the change that is the most important one is the last one in this EVerest core list, adding set power supply capabilities command to ISO 5011A charger. Because that influences the charge parameter discovery response that's sent from the charger to the car. And that now we're able to report basically the capabilities of the power supply and not the capabilities that are currently available when you apply energy management and smart charging schedules, which can of course change over time. And some vehicles don't have issues with for example, limits like 0 watts. So if you don't have energy at the moment, so this allows the ISO 5011A stack to be more flexible with this charge parameter discovery message. Yeah, I think that's the most important thing to highlight here.
Thanks a lot. So let's go to the vulnerability management team. And we also have a guest from the team who actually did the audit today in the call. Kai and Amir, how should we do this? Who want to go first?
I could do a very quick introduction and then hand it off to Kai. But yes, hi everyone. I'm Amir Montazeri from OSTIF, the Open Source Technology Improvement Fund. We've been working with different organizations, including Aleph Energy, on security audits, and have been working together on the EVerest security audit with Quark's Lab. And to my understanding, the audit is largely complete. There is just a little bit of remediation work left, but from what I hear, it was a very good security audit and a very successful engagement. And I noticed this was on my calendar for when I came at the very beginning of the audit. So I thought I would drop in and just give that quick announcement and answer any questions as needed. But that was really all I had. So I'm happy to hand it off to Kai.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you for the kind words. So basically, I think the audit itself has been completed at end of August, and we've basically been working on fixing most of the issues already. There are a handful that are still open, where we still need probably a little bit of time to fix them. However, I think we would also be okay with publishing the report with these issues not fixed yet, depending on what is basically the wish of your organization as well as anybody else.
I mean, basically, we should just do a responsible disclosure. So first, make sure everything is out. Everyone had the chance to get the new patch version in, and especially on critical things. But as far as understood, there was not so much critical. So if it's only more cosmetic and theoretical stuff, I think then we can even publish the list earlier. So let's come back with that on the next month's TSC. And I think, to be honest, I mean, actually, I think there are very few people actually know what's on the list. I think, Kai, you're one of those, because it's really, really on a need-to-know basis. So I have actually no clue.
Yes.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, and our typical setup is we leave it in the hands of the project, however they feel comfortable in terms of disclosure. Typically, we'll want to provide as much support and time as needed in order to remediate the issues or at least address them in some way. But yeah, we'll typically follow the project's lead on their level of comfortability with disclosure and yes, typically, yeah, once we know, we'll say next month that everyone has been informed, we can start coordinating our publication process where we'll publish and talk about the effort, but only after. We'll never do it unless the project has confirmed that they are ready and happy with the contents of the report and the findings, and we're not dropping any 0 days or anything like that. Everyone is well informed. So yeah, we're just here to support through that process.
Yeah, I think we had I have to look it up, and some year ago or so, given ourselves the formal vulnerability management team rules, and maybe we just stick to that.
Great.
But thank you.
Yep,
So
thank you, Joe.
thank you. What's on the monthly releases? So again, right, this is now going to change. We had a discussion last time off the record with the technical steering committee team, work on a new scheme. We'll present how that works in one of the next TSCs, but it's not implemented yet. So at the moment, we extended a bit the monthly snapshot cycle, and in November having the next stable release. And so for October, Kai, this is on you.
Yeah. So as always, this is just a selection of PRs, and I know that there are a couple more already coming, but we have some updates and towards drivers. Mainly the EVerest BSP got a big rework in tandem with a new firmware release a couple days ago. And we have a new driver, which is the Windline power supply driver that was added just also a couple of days ago. As already has been mentioned earlier, the EVerest API modules have now been finally completely merged, as well as some tooling around that. Yeah, in addition to this ISO 15118 charger interface, and there's also now the option to selectively say if you actually want to make a debug build or not. Before that, this was kind of tied to if you wanted to build a testing build or not, and we've kind of just separated this out. So next slide, please. And then there's a couple fixes. Yeah, I'm not gonna go into much detail here, but just a couple highlights. There were some fixes to the CMake Rust support by a new contributor, as well as some minor improvements to a couple modules as well. Yeah, that's it.
By the way, I have to correct myself. I think we last time even presented the proposal, how the new version management is going to be. Off the record, we just had a discussion about that, and I think besides minor details, accepted it from all the directions. And we also said like the first new release in the new scheme will have a version number 2.0 to also deconflict it a bit with the previous enterprise proprietary edition from Pionix, which was 1.0 and 1.1. And since all of that got merged in here and is now extended, we discussed like, okay, this will be 2.0, we're just continuing that commercial numbering scheme, but we'll also bring a couple of new things. And in order to get everything which is really, really relevant into that release, we probably rather delay it by months than hurrying this through now. We also want to spend quite some effort on testing. We're also asking into the community who else can help on making this 2.0 release rock solid and help on a, let's say, concise testing sprint or so. So please, everyone, maybe afterwards, raise your hand, or if you listen to this recording or you see the slides, go and contact the TSC. Would love to coordinate that. The 2.0 gets really, really good.
Maybe one word to the versioning scheme, Marco. The scheme itself is still a little bit TBD. So we had some discussions with in the community, and we'll continue to discuss it. For sure, there will be a release including all the stuff that recently went in for November, which will also be stabilized. But yeah, the versioning scheme is still to be discussed.
Okay. Yeah. Then let's
we'll present that next TSC probably. When we will also talk about what's in the November release. Then.
Yes. Thanks. So, community proposals. There's a couple of new things I would love to present. So this is 3 initiatives I think relevant for the industry, and I would love also to get support from everyone around here on those things. The first one is the Open Invention Network. Maybe let me quickly explain what the Open Invention Network is. That's basically sponsored by some of the mega scalers. You can become a free member there. It's basically a patent defend alliance. So if you're ever running into patent issues as startup, as companies, as whoever, and you're a member of this Open Invention Network, they will use their other patents to defend you as long as you're getting issues just because using open source. There had been some really spectacular lawsuits, I would say 10 years ago, around if there's IP issues on Unix, on Linux, and because of that, some companies aligned together, said like there should not be any patent trolls going around and go after people who just use open source. The interesting thing here is what is defined under their defendants. So the companies who join that club are defended. So I think that's one hand, but they're only defending on something they call the Linux system definition. So not every open source is defended, only let's say the relevant one. And we had some discussion with them. They also have a really, really good reputation in the ecosystem. And we would love to make a proposal to them that EVerest becomes covered by their defending, by their defend fund. And I think that would help everyone in EV charging who uses EVerest, that there's just a little bit of more patent defendant available for you free of charge. In order to make this happen, we'll vote on this after the meeting here, but I don't see any major downsides. But in principle, to make it happen, we need community support. So working a little bit with the ON's technical team. And it would be great. They only take in so-called relevant projects. And the one relevant metrics they're asking for is it part of any major distributions? So getting this officially into distributions like Yocto, or I think they also mentioned Red Hat, Ubuntu, whatever it is, would be good. And if anyone, regardless of this nomination or not, can help us to get into those distributions, would be amazing. Because if you're officially packaged, things will help everyone out there, and it would particularly also help on this anti-patent defense alliance. And this is for 1 year on the back of my mind, and now I finally want to get it out. Second is initiative which was approached to us by the Linux Foundation Energy. They want to work together with the US National Science Foundation under a program so-called Safe Open Source Ecosystems. And they basically want to work on some open source CI/CD support, SBOM support, tooling, and also want to try this out with some projects. Those projects get early access to the toolings. Those projects get support on getting the act together regarding best practices on SBOM and compliance tooling and all of those cyber resilience relevant things. And LF Energy, together with these others, are looking now for people or projects who want to join this initiative. I think they're taking up to 2. And we think it couldn't harm, or potentially even be really, really great, to just suggest that EVerest is along those 2 projects where they will apply the initiative on while the funding period. And also again here, happy to discuss this and confirm this in the off-the-record part. Okay, last but not least one, and I think that is also quite a while in the making. We call it the EVerest CPO forum, CPO for Charge Point Operator. Think about it as a user group. Who are the users of EVerest? You can debate, but in my opinion, the charger vendors are the developers, the engineers behind EVerest. So who will use those chargers? The charge point operators. And they maybe also have something to say. We have meanwhile seen a couple of charge point operators who have great interest into the EVerest tech ecosystem, would love to tell their purchase department to only buy EVerest chargers in the future. And we want to structure this. We want to bring those charge point operators who are interested in the EVerest community to the table so they can provide feedback to us. We can discuss as vendor alliance in a bit to them, can define together what is a good EVerest. We can define some KPIs and start measuring that together, like what is the average EVerest downtime, sorry. So how good is EVerest performing in the real world? What is the roadmap? What is really needed by those operators and by when? And I think having them on the table would strengthen the EVerest ecosystem quite a bit. We knew already a few CPOs who are willing to take the lead here, and these are quite credible names from the private space. And yeah, basically ask the initiatives here, bring more ideas to the table, how we can structure that. We think it's creates quite some benefit for everyone. If you have more suggestions for improving the strategy, or if you are a CPO or if you know a CPO who might join here, please contact the EVerest TSC. We want to schedule a kickoff meeting in December, getting this rolling, and then at least for the beginning, doing like a working group in the EVerest ecosystem. So below the technical steering committee, technically speaking, working on getting EVerest in more chargers and making this even more real world relevant. So what's new on roadmaps? Needs updating. I think there was some updating. Pete, if you're still around, or you already have to run?
No, I am, but I think they have been updated a little bit, so they should be quite up to date. I think on the OSPP side, we made our steps and started with 2.1, and you can see the focus for Q4, which is BPT support and ISO 15118 smart charging integrations, and then following up with DER, and then it's a little bit less set in stone how to continue afterwards, but there are quite some functional blocks also for 2.1 that we will then start working on. The same is true for the -20 roadmaps. This goes very much hand in hand with OSPP, so we are focusing on the vehicle to X communication and bringing this together with OSPP and the energy management in EVerest.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, same for this. It also goes hand in hand with OSPP and then ISO 15118. I think the eBus integration actually got picked up again. There was a pull request that was opened up quite a while ago, but hasn't been merged yet. But this, as far as I know, has been picked up again and is about to be merged, supporting this APC use case. And ChargeByte's pull request for adding the external energy management API is also still up, when we have been discussing it with them. And this will maybe even go into the release that we're planning, but that's not yet sure.
Yeah, and I think on S2 here on the bottom of the page, there was some ideas from, I think, Tweete Golf and others on the LF Energy Summit to bring this stronger into EVerest. And again, also, we're still looking for someone helping with meta integration. We have the impression that this gets really, really relevant for the EV charging space. And there is a big library available there. It's just about bridging this into the EVerest code base. So upcoming events. So there is a festival in some weeks in North America. There is a V2G leadership summit in Brussels together with the European Union and certain DG Move and I think DG Energy I will be speaking there, and I guess also many others from the charging space will be around. Then end of November, there's the European Charging Festival in Spain. And as far as I know, there's at least 2 or 3 Pionix people going there, and also know that one of our customers is going there. So there will be quite a few people. FOSDEM Energy Dev Room, I think Kai is already in the middle of scheduling it, and I guess it will be again a really, really packed day and packed room. So looking forward to this. And also next to the FOSDEM Energy Dev Room, the entire week will be the, I think, how's it called? Open Source Policy Week Europe also. So Brussels will be over that week full of events all around open source. So it's really, really worth to just not only go for this Saturday, Sunday, but on Friday there's some big events on all days on that week. Yeah, and then there's already Power to Drive in June, and I also got just some minutes ago the confirmation that the next LF Europe Summit for next year, September, looks like they got a location and a date. Let's say it's in September, and I'm not allowed to say the location yet and the exact date, but also that is, let's say, closely around and will be even bigger than the last one. And yeah, ICNC, also one of those big events. Yeah, that's it for today's Technical Steering Committee. We will meet next time on 27th of November. Also, quick heads up, the December TSC will be a bit out of schedule because otherwise we run into Christmas. And yeah, let's open up the discussion and see you soon.